Hi, my name is Kevin, and by the end of this 4-part series, you'll have a complete automation that takes you from Reddit research all the way to a published book on Amazon. And get this, each book will cost you only 5 to 7 cents to generate, and takes less than 30 minutes of your time, or rather, of AI's time, in order to create. In today's video, I'll show you how to, number one, set up the workflow that automatically finds and analyzes Reddit posts to, let's say, discover profitable niches, profitable book ideas based on real people's problems and their own needs. So when you create your book, you'll know that these are problems that people actually want to solve. You'll learn how to use n8n to tap into these problems, into the Reddit gold mine of market research, and you'll be able to do this completely hands-free. Essentially, I've been doing this for the last few weeks when it comes to n8n and Reddit specifically, but I tried this method in the past with other types of platforms. But with n8n, this really goes to that next level. I've published several books since I have been working on this flow, and I've been using AI and automation to streamline the content creation process for the last several years, because creating content online has been what I've been doing full-time since that time. In this video, I want to show you how to make it as efficient as possible, and that's why I'm going to show my exact system to be able to do this. The plan with this 4-part series is that, number one, in this video, I'm going to essentially cover the Reddit pain points part. In the next video, I'm going to cover how to create chapters and outlines based on the pain points that you discover. In the third part, I'm going to be showing you how to write the chapters. Then we will format stuff. And in the 5th video, I'll show you how to create the Google Doc plus the image so your book is ready to go. So if that sounds like something you want to do, this is the video to watch. And I encourage you to watch it, because if not, and you still want to create your own book or even content of any length, you'll have to do this manually, which will take you up a lot of time, frustration, and might entirely not happen. So if you have 30 minutes to give to this video and the ones after it, I think you'll find this to be very valuable. Let's get right into it. Okay, so this is the first part of the n8n workflow I'm going to show you. And what this does is that when the user clicks on it, which can also be obviously generated automatically, this will get the post from a specific, or it will get information about a specific subreddit, which in our case is going to be the Ask Reddit forum. Then I'm going to get the comments from that forum. I'm going to aggregate them together. I'm going to use DeepSeek in order to see what these comments really speak about. And then, based on that, I'm going to use another DeepSeek node in order to come up with the book ideas. All these book ideas will then be saved into an Airtable. So I'll have a record and can then proceed with creating my book. So let's build this together from scratch. So let's go here. Let's go here. So the first thing we're going to do in n8n is add the trigger step. In this case, we're going to trigger this manually. And this means that once we click this test workflow, this will start running. Then I'm going to use the Reddit module, and I'm going to use the one that is specifically called get a post. Here I need to provide the Reddit account, which I have already authorized. And if you haven't authorized that, it is as simple as going to Reddit, creating a quick application, and we'll be good to go when it comes to this connection. Let me know in the comments if you want me to show you how to do that. Once that is done, what you need to do is go here, choose your credentials, choose the post as the method. The operation can be get or get many. And in my case, I'm going to go for the subreddit called Ask Reddit. In this case, I'm just going to limit this to, let's put 10 in order to test this step out. So this will execute, and it will give us the information from this Reddit. So what's the common thing people say that makes no sense? So that's one post. We have another one somewhere. So let's scroll down. And I think that was called title. Yep. So here I can also search for title, and let's see. Title. Pizza makers of Reddit. How come if one pays for extra toppings, the quality of each extra topping gets reduced and one still ends up with the same total number of toppings on a pizza? Good question. So that's the first part of this workflow. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to get the comments. So we have the posts and now we want to get the comments. So let's use the Reddit module again. And this time let's go for comments. So get many comments on a post. And what we have in the previous node would be the subreddit information as well as the post ID. So here, if I go to subreddit, yeah, I have the Ask Reddit, so I can just drag that in there. So this would be automatically created and it's a dynamic variable. And here for the post ID, I'm going to find the ID, which is this right here. And now let's put another 10 right here and we test this step, which means that we'll get the comments from this specific subreddit. So this is doing this thing. And now we have 100 items. What we might want to do is say, okay, this should only execute once because we don't want to run this 10 times. We want to potentially execute it just once. And here, if we scroll down, we have, I do like to sleep like a baby. I go to bed super early, wake up a few hours to get a drink and need to self-soothe to fall back to sleep. Okay. I do sleep like a baby. Okay, so we're getting comments about a specific subreddit. What we might want to do next is combine all these together. So we don't want to have all the text that Reddit returns. We just want to have specific things from our comments, which in this case are found in that body parameter. So here, let's just add another module and let's aggregate our fields together. And if I search for a body here, as you can see, there is a lot happening. So what I want specifically is under replies, data, children. And if I open this up, I get some comments right here. So I have body. So this is what I'm interested in. So let's just put the replies.data, children, and let's put this right here. And this might be, let's see, children. Let's test this out. So what I want to do is technically combine just these right here. So let's see if we can do this. Okay. Okay, so here I put replies.data.children 0 as the index, .data.body. This will give me the comments from these items. So the next thing I want to do here is essentially grab the things that people have said and put them in an AI that is able to analyze what the commonalities and the patterns are. Before I do that, what I'm going to do to make life slightly easier is I'm going to use this edit fields to just grab the title of the actual post. So if I go back to the first module here, or the second, here I have the item title. And I do this, so then it's easier to access. So what's a common thing people say that makes no sense? So then, when I use something like DeepSeek, for example, if I'm going to go with this model and create a chat completion, it will make it easier to pass along these two parameters, the title and the body information. So here, I'm going to choose my model, which is DeepSeek chat. I'm going to add a message, which is something like this. And I'm going to say, what are the most common patterns you notice about this Reddit thread? I'm going to pass the title, and I'm going to pass the comments. Let's change this to expression, and we need to update this. So instead of JSON Reddit title, we know that this is called JSON dot title, and this is aggregating the information from all the comments, right? Let's see. So yeah, that should be the same thing. Yep, I'll just do that. And now we're passing along the title of the thread and the comments. And if we test the step, let's see what are the most common patterns that DeepSeek identifies. Because based on this research, we'll now be able to technically grab those patterns, and when we come up with book ideas, we'll know that these are actually book ideas that people really have pain points around, which makes it easier that our book is a success. Okay, so this is just finished executing. And here the answer is, there the thread you provided revolves around common phrases or sayings that people find nonsensical or illogical. Here are the most common patterns I notice in the comments. Critiquing common phrases. Many comments point out phrases or idioms that people use but don't make logical sense. Like I sleep like a baby. ATM machine. Redundant as ATM already stands for automated teller machine. Nip it in the bud. Humor and sarcasm. So if we're writing a book about funny things people say, these are things that people have already noticed that would make sense to go ahead and write content about. Obviously, you could go for something that is more revolved around pain, but this will give you an idea of what you can accomplish. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create another DeepSeek module. So I can just duplicate this, and let's connect that. And for this one, I'm just going to give it this prompt. What books could I write about the following pain points, about the following pain points people have? Give me the output in the following format. So here I'm saying I want an array. And I'm saying the first output character should be a square bracket, and the last should be a square bracket as well. And here's the input. I'm giving the input from the Reddit DeepSeek module. So let's test this step. And this should give us some good information that we can then store in an Airtable, and then later we can see if it makes sense to proceed with that. So here we have decoding nonsense, a guide to common phrases that don't make sense. 360 degrees of confusion, what we say, why we say what we say, and why it's wrong. I like that, 360 degrees of confusion, why we say what we say, and why it's wrong. The redundant dictionary, a humorous look at tautologies and redundancies. Not bad, very, very good ideas, I think. So here what I want, instead of this whole list of bunch of text, I want to split this out into an array. And in order to do this, I first need to create an array, so then I can extract the single components from it. So the first thing I'm going to do is use a set node here. I'm going to pass this content here, and I'm going to say I want this as an array. And that should give me the contents as an array. So now I have an array of 14 items. Great. And now I'm going to split these up. So I'm going to use the split out to turn a list inside items into separate items. So I'm just going to drag that, and that should include no other fields. So now if I split this up, I have these 15 items right here, and I can have a look at these all right here. Which also means that now that I have these 15 items, I can easily store them in something like Airtable. Let's go to Airtable. I'm going to open it up and create a new database. And here I have a new Airtable. Let's call this n8n book YouTube, where I will just have let's have a record ID, which is a formula. And let's just have the book title, which is a single text. create field. Great. So I can delete this. I can grab this information because I will need it. And if I go back to my n8n, I can create a record. So let's create the records in that database, choose the table, and all we're going to do is send the book title. So this will be the message.content. If I press that step, that should populate my Airtable with those 14 or 15 types of items. Great. So now I have my ideas. All I'm going to do is add a button called Write Book. So let's save that as a button. And for now, let's just leave that empty. So here I have a button which is called Write Book, which what I will be able to do after is look at this, look at the ideas that can come in every day if I wanted to, and then hit Write Book, and this would create or run the automations that happen after that actually goes and writes the book, as I will show you in the next videos. So that is why I have this Write Book button here. Essentially, this is all there is in this flow. So I get the post, I get the comments for the post, I put it all together. I then pass this information to DeepSeek to analyze the patterns. I get book ideas. I turn that into an array. I split it into multiple items, and I save it in Airtable. So then I end up with this right here, which means that I can then have a list of ideas that I can explore. So that is part 1 of this 4 or 5 part video series. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to essentially go about creating chapters from this Airtable and how to turn those chapters into outlines. So this is the next part of this video series. So see you in that one.